Hey, it's Karina Reichman, and you are listening to Comes a Time with Oteil Burbridge and Mike Fenoya. If you're digging the podcast, do these guys a favor and review and subscribe. It means a lot. Be sure to follow the pod on social media, YouTube, and if you're joining for bonus episodes and exclusive content, go to patreon.com/comesatimepod and get on the bus. And now, here's Mike and Oteil.
This is why I don't have kids, but I have a dog. And my dog did a commercial, Oteil. My dog is doing commercials. Finally, she could buy her own goddamn treats because they are not cheap, bro. They are not cheap.
Wouldn't it be great if she could pay for her own doggy health insurance?
We're going to lobby for that.
He's like, we're about to.
We're going to lobby for that. So a little backstory. I was backstage at the Capitol Theater opening for Joe Gatto. It was like around New Year's Eve last year. Get to talking to this like really kind woman backstage. I take my phone out. My dog Charlie's the screensaver, and she goes, "Oh my God, I'm a pet agent. Are you would you ever want her in commercials or anything?" And I'm like, yeah, like absolutely. Even if it doesn't come to anything, like what material, you know? So we got together with her and Charlie passed the test, I guess, So time went by, nothing happened. I finally get a text from her and she goes, "Just want to let you know I put Charlie in for a commercial and she's in the front runner." She's like, "It's her and one other dog, but don't take it personal because the other dog is like the dog.
Super
like this
cute.
is like, yeah, the other dog is like their like money maker, Charlie gets the gig, dude. Charlie wins. And I'm like, this is insane, right? So I get the address, I get whatever, We go to this like warehouse in like Rockland County, New York. It's like a little hour north of the city. And big space, right? And it's got green screens all along the back.
Oh,
It's
wow.
got like, like Crafty is set up in the parking lot. Like it's a whole shoot.
Yeah.
Like a whole TV shoot. And Video Village where like the director sits in the chair and all the PAs are back here and the room's kind of split in half. And there's like a living room set up where the couch is like there and right to it's one of those commercials where the guy gets up off the couch and walks immediately into a park, walking the dog, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like he goes from living room to like, out of from in the house to out of the house like that. So there's a couch and whatever. So Charlie prances in there and she sits down, like meets everybody. She's like doing great. And I'm so nervous. I'm like, cause sometimes she'll jump or bark or whatever.
Don't know.
I don't know. And she kills it. So everyone loves her. She's like, "Oh my God, she's adorable." This and that. Right. They take the stand-in, right? The stand-in for the commercial. The guy, there's two men. It's like two older gentlemen. Stand-in sits down with her. They go action. She gets up. The guy gets up, takes his dog for a walk. Charlie's just sitting there like like super cool and cute. And he walks her and she's like, "Okay." Gets up, her little tail's wagging.
Aww.
She walks perfect, dude, nails it. And I'm behind the director watching it on a screen. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's my little girl, dude. Like, and I'm like, go. And it was like 5 steps, 4 steps, 3. And I'm like, you got it. And she did it and they go cut. And she goes, "Oh my God, she's so cute." And I'm like, "That's my baby, dude. That's my girl." And they go, "Okay, that was a good one. Now let's get a couple others for pickups." Right. So then they have the actual actor walk in and he takes the leash and he just like kind of was like, and not aggressive, but he was not gentle.
Yeah.
And he was kind of giving it a little too much of a tug. And she doesn't respond well to that. Like she almost kind of is like, if I'm walking her and I give her a little tug, like that's because I want her to like get out of the street or whatever,
Yeah.
Or another dog's coming up the road. So he gave her a little bit of a tug and she kind of was like, didn't react well. And I'm like, "All right, Mike, this is not your thing to control. Like they know what they're doing, And I'm like now getting like nervous dad. So a couple times they tried, it doesn't go well. The next time she tries to walk off the stage kind of thing. And he kind of pulled her a little bit back and I go, cut. And Dude, everybody looks at me, right? And
But the director's like,
the directors turn around and they go, you can't yell cut. Like, this isn't your commercial, right? So I go, I'm sorry, but like, can I just show him how to walk her? Like, I can like save us all a ton of time and money. Like, I just want to give him a quick. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And the agent that got me this is kind of just like, Jesus
oh
Christ.
boy.
Like, so she's like, what did I get myself into? So I go, dude, listen, here's all you got to do is just like hold it, like just guide her, like literally a little flick of the wrist, and she's going to follow you like to the moon and back. Like, just gentle is what she responds to.
Don't yank on her neck.
Don't yank on her neck. Then I go, and if you do it any harder, I'll be waiting for you in the parking lot. And he goes, all right. So I do it. I do the whole walk and show him how to turn, like. And the director guy's like, that was great. And I go, do you want me to just do the commercial? I'm like, would you guys want me to? And they had like a PA come over and they're like, can you just, stand in the back? Like, we got this. And I was like, all right. That's when I knew I kind of had to like, and dude, she did the commercial. She did about 30 takes. And,
wow. That's a lot.
She killed it, dude. And then they like gave her a break
That's
and
a
she like went into her little green room. And she like got on the couch, curled up, took a nap until they were ready for her again. Oh, dude, it was such a hilarious experience. And I was driving home. I was like, baby, I am so proud of you. Like, I was having like talks with her, but I realized, dude, this is a reason why I can't have kids, because I would go viral for like fighting an umpire for like calling my kid out if he was safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was
You'd
like,
be that sports dad that I'm worried I'm gonna have to deal with.
yeah, man, I would be. And only because I love her so much that it would be like, put her in. Why are you not playing her more? But it would just be me. Like, she doesn't respond to anger. But
she doesn't respond to the whistle.
Stop blowing the whistle that loud in my daughter's direction. I was so over the moon proud of her. And like, I'm telling people, like, I'm in line at like the pharmacy. I don't know who's in front of me, but I'm like, hey, my dog was just in a commercial. And they're like, what? And I like show them the video and shit. And I'm like, it's such a fun thing to talk about. But
I think it's the same. You say you don't have kids, but it might be a little less expensive, but it's a lot the same.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's a lot the same.
It was a lot of fun though, man. And it was so cool to see her. Like, I don't know. It's amazing. It's really amazing. And she's got another audition coming up soon. And
she's got a growing career.
She's got a better career than I do, bro. Now I'm jealous of my wife and my dog. So I live with two women that are doing better than me.
You have more gigs than your dog. Get out of here.
I know, I'm kidding.
But she's coming for you.
She is. Good. God bless. These treats are not cheap, dude. I wish her the best.
Dude, I can't imagine what dog stuff costs right now. Every time I go out and buy something, I'm like, what?
Oh, dude.
Dude, I bet dog stuff is through the roof.
Well, and it's a trap because they know you're not gonna not buy your dog. Like, that's why a lot of this shit, I think about it too, man. How much of this is just a grift? Like, I don't remember giving my dog like monthly flea and tick and heartworm and I do give it to, I mean, I follow everything the vet says. If the vet told me to boil her water, I would boil her water. Like, I would do anything for this dog.
Do it.
Yeah. But it's this thing of like, my dog growing up ate bagels. You know what I mean? Like, my dog would get a bagel like at least every Saturday. Casey Jones would get, he ate 52 bagels a year at least.
I'm sure dogs have eaten worse.
Hey, he lived to 16. What the fuck? I'm giving my dog but I'm also, I think probably that like, it's one of those things that like the quality of the food was probably way better when that dog was alive versus.
I have gotten mad when I found out people had given my dog McDonald's cheeseburgers and French fries and stuff, which I have eaten myself, probably not that long ago, even.
I know.
In a pinch. But I was like, no. Don't do that to my dog. That's not, I mean, even just selfishly, they'll probably be throwing up on the carpet, but it's just not, that
I made a
I'm
mistake.
responsible for that dog person or not, and that dog needs to be happy and healthy.
Happy and healthy.
Period.
And you're going to be the one cleaning
Yeah.
up its diarrhea later if it eats a
Yeah.
Whopper,
All the way around. That dog's
Yeah,
got
man.
my last name on it.
You know what's funny too, dude? I got like into it's my stupid low risk vigilantism that I do. I I was in the parking lot at a Fish concert, and there was a dog like eating like trying to eat like cigarette butts and trying to like it, the thing was starving.
Super hungry. Yeah.
Super hungry. So I forget what we had. Like it wasn't a paper plate, but I had like taken I like fashioned a bowl out of like maybe it was like a beer box or something. I can't remember, but I was feeding the dog and giving it water. But someone had a plate of pasta, like spaghetti, and I bought it and I just put it down and like fed the dog because we had like Doritos and I'm not gonna give a dog Doritos.
Yeah.
But like I went and bought the dog pasta, and the guy came running back and he's like, "What the hell's the matter with you? Like dogs, it can ruin their intestines." And I'm like, okay, well then how about feed your dog? Like I don't want to feed your dog a plate of spaghetti in a parking lot, but like the dog's eating cigarette butts.
That's good for his
I don't want to
intestines.
step in, but like I can't walk away from that.
Yeah.
And he got like pissed off at me, and I'm like, all right, hey, you can't step in all the time. It's his dog, whatever. And I'm like, sorry, dude, I just care about the dog. Like I see a dog in a parking lot, like leave your dog home, dude.
Eating cigarette butts.
Eating cigarette butts.
Come on, man.
Like what the fuck? Like come on. So yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe it gets diarrhea from it's not gonna get emphysema now,
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what a bunch of fucking cigarette filters will do to your intestines. Like,
oh god, it's awful.
Come
it's
on,
absolutely
dude.
awful.
Take care of your sentient beings, bro.
That's it. Yo, I want to ask you, Oteil. You're out on tour. I'm watching through Instagram. We're chatting. I'm on the road. Eric sends me a text, and I just look at it, and it's you in the cavern, dressed like Macho Man. Holy shit, dude! I got to hear about this. We haven't talked about this yet.
That's thanks to my buddy Jason Strocek. Shout out to him. Him and his crew. I looked up one time at the Denko show, and I saw Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, like people dressed as them, and a couple other characters. I think there might have been a Batman. Like I don't remember. There was some other characters in costume. And so I waved, and so I'm pretty sure that was them too. And then I got to know them later, and they came to our gig, and so they had their crew with a bunch of costumes, and they were like, "Hey, I think we got a Macho Man in here. You want to try it on?" So I tried it on, but it looked absolutely ridiculous, which it should. So I was like, I don't know, like, and Melvin wasn't feeling good that night, so I was just like, I'll see how I feel. I don't know if tonight's the night, because it's gotta feel right if you're gonna do something that over the top,
Yeah.
So then it turns out Melvin couldn't make the show that night, so I was like, look, I don't want to do it tonight. I got a lot on my plate trying to deal with. Melvin's there, but he's in the bus, like, not feeling well. He made the next night show, so it was just an overnight thing. But so the first set I just played in my regular clothes, because I wasn't I was just trying to deal with what tunes are we going to do? How are we going to do this without? It was cute because Jason Crosby was literally running back and forth across the stage playing Melvin's organ, which is they bookend the stage. So he's on the farthest end that he could be away from Melvin. So he puts the violin down, he runs over there, plays organ, runs back over here, sings, plays keyboards. Like, it was pretty funny.
Wow.
But the way the caverns is set up, it's a cave. And so there's only one way in and out. There's like no back door or back entrance.
So
cool. You have to go all the way from the front of the mouth of the cave through the audience to get to the stage. Well, they had set up barricades from the top entrance all the way to the stage. And I was like, oh, that's just like WWE.
Oh yeah.
Right? You come out and the
Yeah.
barricades go all the way to the ring.
Oh wow.
And I was like, you know what? Now might be the perfect time. Melvin's down. He can't play. I got barricades going all the way. We've already done a set, killed it. Everybody's let's just turn it up a notch. And I was like, screw it. Let's do it. So I put the thing on, I'm like high-fiving all the way down the barricade. You know how Macho Man has his hands up in the air, his arms raised, and he turns around. And it was so funny. I even cut a little promo with one of those little paper salt and pepper things, that little packets that you get in like plasticware.
Yeah.
It was sitting on the floor of the bathroom, and Macho Man did this one little promo with this little plastic cup of coffee creamer. And he did this whole thing with it, and he threw it or whatever, it's just like ridiculous and awesome. So I cut this little promo about, how I was going to tear the audience open like this little packet of salt and pepper and sprinkle them like fairy dust all throughout the galaxy by the time I got through with them. It's like,
wow.
It's so funny, man. Just complete.
That was so cool, dude.
Colonel Bruce hijinks.
What did it feel like being up there, like in comparison to the face paint? Because we've talked about how that kind of gives you like a, I don't want to say a superpower, but it's a different.
It does.
Yeah,
I think it does.
How did this feel? Like, were you comfortable? Were you like?
No, this is the total opposite of that. This really, again, makes you appreciate wrestling, because I have often looked at some of these guys' costumes, and they'll come out with more clothes than they actually wrestle in. Like they'll take some of it off, but some of these outfits are a real commitment. And the one I was wearing was because I wasn't going to take most of it off and then wrestle in it, or then play the show. I was going to keep all of it on, and it's like pleather, dude, it was so disgusting. And I committed. I had the collar up. I eventually had to turn the collar down because I thought I was going to pass out.
Oh, is that hot, huh?
Oh my God. I probably lost 6 pounds. That's
it was like one of them like the sweat like
suits.
Dude,
I'm sure it was like
how did you do that?
MMA fighter cutting weight. Yeah, it was it was bad, but I committed to it. Like by the end of the first song, I was like, I don't know if this is doable, and I was like, you're doing it.
Sweat right through the thing, I bet.
Dude, I went right to the bitter end, and I had a smile on, and I went up the barricade on the way out in a blaze of glory. It was so funny, dude.
What was it? Is that your first time playing that cavern, right?
Dude, that place is great.
Yeah, I want to hear about it.
Jake, who obviously, I introduced, it was last 2 of our shows. So I was thanking Katie, our tour manager, and Jake, our sound man. So obviously he became Jake the Snake that night.
Yeah, of course.
But, he had told me going into this, like, be prepared for it to suck. Prepared for it to be really boomy. It's going to really help me if you turn the bass down. So I'm like, dude, I've been with Bob Weir. I can turn that motherfucker all the way off.
You want me to unplug it?
Yeah, exactly. I'll unplug. I don't want to, and it does suck. It sucks, but I'm used to it,
Yeah.
So after the show, I was like, how was it? And he was like, it was so much better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, great.
When it filled up with people, because like after sound check, he was like, get ready for a rough one, dude.
Oh, no way. Wow.
But we have combat gigs. Look, we had a combat gig. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was a tour before. Hamptons, I think it was. They just come sometimes. Just everything.
Oh yeah, the humidity and the pouring rain.
Whatever.
It happens.
The sound system's not working. Something just like that's what it was in the Hamptons. It was just like the monitor guys didn't know what they were. It was just a nightmare. Skull and Roses that time, just like everything defeats you. Right. So I was just like, okay, once you set your mind to it,
Yep.
then you're like, okay,
Yep.
let's do this. And there's only a few things I can't set my mind to, like playing when it's 36 degrees outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't quite mastered that one yet.
I don't
But
know
then
how
when
you
it-
would, man. You need your
but-
hands.
Some people could do it. Hey, man, Mayer and Bob Weir and Mickey Hart and Jeff Kameni did it just fine.
Yeah.
They showed me how to do it.
Yeah.
I was not able to do it, and I am trying to set my life up to never have to do it. Ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are we doing here? But
yeah.
it's doable, and they did it.
Man.
His fingers were as cold as mine, man. He was hitting those
Shredding.
keyboard solos like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very
Wow.
interesting that you talk about this because I'm thinking about the moments where, I've done some of these theaters where the monitors are like, and when you're doing stand up, it's dead silent. In a theater that's acoustically like, it's echoey and cavernous to start with. And the monitors are a half second behind. So everything I'm saying, I'm hearing, and it's throwing me all off. But how amazing is our brains or whatever that we just adapt and react? Like,
We
do
can
I walk
adjust.
3 steps to the left? Do I hold the mic further away from my face? Do I talk up? Like, you just start to problem solve and you figure it out.
Just
It's
adjust.
wild to be able to like do that. Like, I remember when I did stand up at Nassau Coliseum.
Whoa.
I mean, a hockey
Jeez.
rink. It was an ice arena. And they had fans on stage that were like waist high. And all I hear is like, and the monitors are like, this was the first time I ever did a room that big. And since then, thanks to the Jokers, I've done a ton. But like, I'm like looking up at like Billy Joel, New Year's 1983, like, fly, like the big, you've done that room. I mean, there's like the Jumbotron thing hanging, and it's like, the fuck am I doing here?
But with one voice too, it's like, how you doing? It's like,
and you got to kind of go,
yeah, you gotta
doing?
let it go.
Yeah, all the way to the back and all the way back.
What do you do with
down.
your timing? Your whole timing is like,
and no one prepares you for that. And Lisa, God bless her, is in the front row going like this, Oteil. She's going, slow down.
Yeah, let the slap back happen before you say something else. It's so
literally
weird.
like commanding a current to go like to the very last row and then back. And that's when like that Steve Martin book, Born Stand, he's like, talk to the last row. Look at the last row at the very top. And it's like, okay. And now I think about that all the time. That's how I do everything now, is like talk to the last row. And
I think that's what you get from the old guys too, because I'll never forget this concert I saw, Montreux Jazz Festival. First time I saw Elvin Jones, and he had 3 sax players. 2 of them were young, and one was an older guy. I think it was Frank Foster. And the young guys are killing it, and then they both go first, and the old guy steps up, and all I remember was him hitting that first note. And he held it, and it sailed for the very back of that auditorium. And I was like, he aimed for the back row.
Yep.
That's an old school, just mindset.
Yeah.
It blew my, and I made a note to myself. That's how you have to project when you project. Go all the way past the back row. Right?
Yeah. Go to the exit. Go to the person selling T-shirts in the lobby. Yeah. Go to the moon. Go to the parking lot. Because what's interesting too is like, you do that. Like, I would go do like a run of like, 5-6 nights or whatever with these guys doing these big rooms. And then you get back to New York and you're in like 100-seat set Comedy Cellar. And I'm talking to the last row, even though the last row is 10 feet from me.
Yeah.
I'm still talking to that guy, not the first row guy, because I think there's a thing too of like, if you're including everyone behind me as a patron, like, I'm in this, like, I'm now in you're going like this, and you're going like, come on, but you're here. So it's like, I don't even need to, dude, you're here. I don't need to talk to you. You're here. You're in my pocket.
It's like the martial arts guy. When they punch your head, they're punching behind your head. They're going through your head to get what they're actually punching at.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Just walk through it. but it's definitely a thing, you know? And I'm interested that you said that like the cavern, because one that I wanted to ask you about this as a performer. Are you at all intrigued by this Las Vegas
Oh,
sphere?
absolutely. Because all I can think about is Jonathan Singer. You know, he is
Yeah.
such an incredible visionary digital artist. He can actually, you don't need to take DMT. If
Oh
you put
no.
on some VR goggles and just let just let him go to work,
Yeah.
you'll have a full-on DMT experience. So that's my dream, is like,
That place
yeah, Oteil and friends
at the sphere.
with Jonathan Singer, yeah, at the Sphere.
Man,
Let's do this. Oh my god, I can't even imagine. Woo!
there's a couple things that like are very interesting about that place, and I've heard a couple people talk about it, and it was stuff I didn't even consider. But the majority of places that you play, that bands play, whatever, Madison Square Garden, right? Giant Stadium, Gillette Stadium, blah, 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 baseball fields. Those are sports venues. And as musicians, you have to curate the everything to this sports venue,
Yeah.
right? We got people that are making a career of going and playing football stadiums, cavernous, open to the Bruce. I go see Bruce Springsteen and he's playing, and it's stacks and stacks. This is a
Yeah.
music venue. This is a venue
Yeah.
that's made for live music, perhaps MMA, perhaps like, you know, whatever, but it's like music first. And you're looking at, and the visual part first. And I'm looking at you two on stage, right? I watch, like, you know, I've been dying to see what it looked like. And there's no speakers on stage. There's no monitors on stage. There's no amplification at all on stage. They're not plugged
Wow.
into
I didn't know that. They're all in
Oteil,
ears.
if you look at these videos, they're not plugged into anything, right?
Wow.
So the place is the speaker. The place is the monitors. The
That
place
means
is
no guitar players are ever going to want to play there.
No, right? Yeah, because what do you do? Yeah, how do you adjust? Yeah,
because they're so attached to their amps, you know.
But then although like what's what, and maybe it's a little bit of like sleight of hand or smoke and mirror, because like the screens, like if you're in the audience, you're not paying attention to the band. You're not. I mean, literally, it's like Oz behind the curtain could be doing anything, because
yeah,
the visual aesthetic of it all. But like it's so, the sound is pristine, the vision is pristine, the just the presentation, and it really ups the game, you know. But it's like, how wild of a thing to have. And it made me think like, wow, you know, these like sheds and stuff like that are like,
they're the worst.
They're the worst. But you know what? It's all we've known. So now it's like you get a place like this and it's like, oh shit, this is actually built for optimal music experience performance, like for
especially
the performer
with that dome
and for
thing.
the fan.
Because I was talking to somebody the other day and they were saying like, if you go to some place in the ancient world that's like has a dome,
Yeah,
you can stand at opposite sides and whisper at the wall, and if they're directly opposite you, they can hear it clear as a bell. So the dome itself provides better sound,
like an echo chamber. Yeah,
that's some kind of thing. So I would imagine they're taking advantage of that in the Sphere, especially if they're not having any amplification on stage, which I guess with the exception of the drums, maybe.
Yeah, the drum. Yeah, and I'm like, this is so wild to see a band.
Oh, I can't wait to play there. Can't wait to play there, dude.
I know
something's gonna bring me in there. I know it.
And I wonder if it's just, imagine if it's like a live comes a time. We do a podcast in the Sphere, and it's just like,
as long as Jonathan Singer's there.
I'm telling you, man, I gotta think about how people need to you know, prepare themselves for the sensory overload of it all. Because if you go in there too fucked up, or you go in there drunk, or you go in like,
even if I was like totally straight, there would probably be times, depending on how things are edited, because if it's moving,
sit down and
like action movie editing. Like even in movie theaters, there's patches where I just close my eyes
You
because I'm
have
like,
to.
it's just too much, you know. So I give myself a break by just like
Yeah. I would
shutting it off. I would imagine I do that at the Sphere.
I forget what movie it was, but one of the more recent things I saw where things were just going too fast. I had to look at the exit sign as almost kind of like to stop my motion sickness. Like, the little exit sign in the movies
Yes.
that's to the left of the screen. I was like, all right, that's not moving.
Well,
So
it's
like I'll
it's
just
gone
stare
to
at
the
that.
next level now because video game editing, like what Nigel watches on the big screen, he was watching something on the TV on the big screen, and it was actually a tutorial, but it moves at the speed of the video game if you're playing it.
uh
I could not keep up.
yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I went to Jess and I was like, his brain moves at hyper speed because he was getting all of it and retaining. He's like, oh, that's how I do that. And then he'll show me later, Dad, look what I've been trying to get this, be able to do this. And look, I finally figured it out. So he's retaining all of it. It's
So
like
great.
sucking on a fire hydrant, man. I
I
was
don't know
like,
how the hell. Yeah.
whoa.
Dude, I'm learning Adobe right now, like just for editing clips and shit. And I'm like 44-year-old, like beat the hell out of my brain,
Oh God,
like
I couldn't. Yeah.
dude, I'm watching it like younger, like 25, 26-year-old kid, like showing me how to do it.
Yeah, just like
Yeah, he's like, oh, you hit this, then scan that, drag it out. And I'm just like, fucking what? Wait, huh? Like, so how do you turn on the
I have to
computer?
pause those tutorials like every second.
I
They
hate
do
it,
one thing.
dude.
Pause. All right, let me give it a. Okay, hit it. Hit pause.
I
They're
walk
like,
in like, do you have a pencil sharpener so I can write notes?
but the thing is, like, they're editing movies now that way because kids are used to playing video games and used to watching it at that speed. So when I see it on the big screen, I'm like, that's going to cause me to have a seizure.
I
Like, I
know,
have to
man.
just like come with a pair of dark glasses.
Yep.
So I'd be
Yep.
like, all right, I need to tap out for this scene or whatever,
That's it. That's it. Do you think that this time, because every generation goes like, when I was a kid,
Oh yeah.
this is definitely the largest like gap from, you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, absolutely.
like my dad, they'd go, well, we had records and I have CDs now or whatever, right? And that technology
Yeah.
was like, you crazy kids, this shit is a whole other world, right?
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, I can't believe
because
anything else was this.
I saw this thing where this guy he's the expert. He's one of the leading experts on implants.
Uh-huh.
So he uses himself as the guinea pig. So I believe he said he had somewhere between 11 and 15 implants. He's like, well, I've got this one in my hand and I've got this one in my arm for this. And then this one, he's got him in his ear. And he has like implants all over himself. And some have like worked and not worked. He had to take it out, do like, and I'm just looking at this guy and some of the shit you could see, like it looks kind of weird. And I'm like, okay, he's the scientist that's, he's not doing it to rats or chimps. So
Himself.
yeah, he's doing it all to himself. But it's like, whoa, you see, like that's the next thing.
Bananas.
So I'm
Dude.
like, are my kids going to be the implant kids? Or is that where they're drawing the line where they're like, console? Who uses a console? Like the video games just here in my head. Yeah, I'm just like,
like, all I
like,
want for Christmas is like a thumb implant.
an upload, yeah, or whatever. Just like,
what the fuck?
yeah, I don't know, man, but I know that it's exponential. I agree with you that this one is the biggest jump.
Yeah.
But we know that next one's going to be an exponential jump. So
imagine that when
yeah, what are
Nigel's
Nigel's
kids?
Yeah, exactly.
That's bonkers to me.
Bonkers.
Like, oh, you have to think about what you want.
And
like,
we'll see it.
When I was a kid, we didn't have to think for, like it just appeared.
You have to take a test? Why would I have to take a test?
You need to eat food?
You need to memorize something?
When I was a kid, we just, thought about food and we were full. You had to eat food? Dude, this shit's nuts.
It's going to be exciting. And we'll see it. Remember that thing that it came up on my Instagram? And he said, scientists announced that Within 10 years, you'll be able to live and work until you're 120. And I've been talking about 120 for 10 years now. And I'm like, wow, it's here. I will make it. My mom may not,
120.
but in the next 10, if I can make it the next 10 years, and you can bet your ass I'm planning on making it the next 10 years, science is telling me I can definitely make it to 120 and work. So imagine at 120 years old, I'm about to be 60, what I'm gonna see, what you're gonna see. That exponential thing, we're gonna be here for it twice.
Buddy.
It's one of the exponential factors is that it happens quicker. We may be here for it like 3 times.
By the time we hit 120, they're going to be like, you can live to 280.
And I'm going to be like, I'm good.
I'll pass
euthanasia will be legal by then. And
also, let's hope the world makes it to 120. You know what I mean? Like, it may just be us floating in space, like, hey, we made it. The Earth is we need the planet to.
I think the aliens are going to have a bigger impact long before then. Before then.
I hope so.
They already have. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to interstellar travel. Like we could check out some other places.
Yeah.
You guys want to fight down here? Y'all go ahead.
I'll be.
They just told me I could go to beta something. I'm gonna go check it out and see what's popping over there.
Yeah, when they have a sphere on the moon and you're playing your 100th birthday, I'll be front row, dude.
We'll be back on Mars by then, I think.
Yeah.
Also, they're going to populate.
Amazing.
I'm ready.
Well, this was fun, and folks, we have a lot going on, and we're glad you're here for it. Oteil, let's just catch up. What do you have? What's cooking? What's in the works? The album's
so beautiful?
Out. Nothing.
I have 3 months off. I shouldn't say that. I don't think it's been announced yet, but by the time this comes out, it should be announced that we're playing the 29th and 30th at Revolution. Is it called Revolution Hall or just Revolution in Fort Lauderdale?
Okay.
Hometown. Bob Weir is down here playing 4 nights and including New Year's Eve. So they asked me if I would do a couple. I was like, sure, I'll be back home in my own bed both nights. So
Sick,
I feel like it's not really work. Although now that I'm talking to everybody, I think we're going to try to do the set that we rehearsed for a bunch, including 4 hours a day of that Skull and Roses festival where we couldn't play any of it hardly. We got to play about 30 minutes of it. So yeah, I'm thinking about at least one night giving that, because it was great. Oh my God, the segues and the everything. And we ended with Palm Sunday on Palm Sunday. We won't be able to do that. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting that one back. You know, it's like the fight that you lost that you get to go get that one back. And then so that's going to be fun. That's the only thing for me. It's Halloween with the kids.
Good.
It's Thanksgiving with the kids.
Good.
Going to look for pumpkins with the kids. Birthdays. Jess's birthday, then Kavi's birthday, then my mom's birthday, Christmas Eve, which she does down here with us.
Nice.
For the first time, and then Christmas. And then those 2 Oteil and French. That's all. What you got going? You got everything going. Your special's coming out, bro.
Special. Yeah. All right. So thank you. November 9th, guys. Don't Let Me Down hits YouTube. And nowadays it's all about the clicks. It's all about the clicks. So if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's just youtube.com/Mike subscribe. And on November 9th, click that thing and share it. And it literally it's the algorithm. The algorithm has to go, oh, people are interested in this. And then they take that little drip of water in the ocean of content and they go, let's purify this. This seems to be important to people. And that's all it is. So if you could click it, it would mean the world to me. That's November 9th. I'm on the road a ton. MikeFenoya.com for the dates. Working on a bunch of really, really cool shit. Like I'm telling you, it's like a thing of like opportunities seem to be kind of like coming, and I'm excited about it. So there's a lot of good stuff in the works. And yeah, just check out some live shows. If you're in Connecticut, New Year's Eve, I'm going to be headlining comics at Mohegan Sun again. Try to re-up because last year I got COVID on the 30th and wasn't able to do the 31st. But
see, we're both trying to get some back.
That's
that
it,
we
dude.
lost
Yeah,
last time.
totally, man. A year later. But I'm going to be in San Francisco. I'm going to be in all over the country throughout November. Cleveland, Houston, you name it. A lot of great shows coming up, and you can find all that.
And you
stuff
you got a bunch of podcasts that you are doing, have been doing, have coming up, right?
On, yeah, I'm like on a press tour, basically. It seems like with like trying to.
Who are some of those guys?
Tom Papa. I'm going to do Tom Papa's
come
podcast.
On now.
Yep, I'm
Comes
doing
a time guest, former.
Yes, that's right. Oh shit! You know who I'm here with? You know who's in the adjacent room to me this weekend here at DC Improv? George Wallace.
Oh, sweet! Also, former comes a time.
Get one of the first. So I'm gonna make sure I spend some time with him today. I'm very excited to like.
Dude, you should get a little iPhone roll. Comes a time content video. Something.
Hell yeah, dude! Oh, I've got a plan. So no, that'll be great.
Awesome.
That'll be great. But yeah, I've been doing a bunch of them, and
my buddy
Jim Sal Norton from the Jokers. I'm going to be doing Jim and Sam. I'm going to be doing the Bonfire, Bennington. I mean, it's all and I'm so grateful to these folks for this is what it is now, man. It's like you record a special and you basically beg your famous friends to share it, and we all know that this is the name of the game now is like share, like put each other up, put each other over.
That's right.
And
wrestling, baby.
That's it.
We put each other over.
We put each other over.
We do, man.
We have
and thank you, people, for all your clicks that you have been giving us and sharing because, you know,
it goes so far.
Dumb us. We didn't really. I thought Mike probably knew. When we switched to like doing reels, man, we just started going like gangbusters before we even got to recording new episodes and getting with Pantheon. And so you guys have really helped us. Our Patreon is now in triple digits. Like, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you guys already because you really have been helping Comes a Time grow and definitely my personal career and Mike's too. So
yeah, it means a lot. And it's this thing of it's reciprocity these days. I think that like, you know, before, and even the word special, you put out a comedy special every day. If you follow it, I mean, every day there's 10 specials.
Yeah.
Right. So the word special, it's almost kind of hilarious that we have to use this word special when it's like, yeah, it's special to us. But there were days when it was like, there were 2-3 specials a year.
Yeah, man.
Billy Crystal had a special.
Yeah.
You know, like Chris Rock had a special. It was like a Tyson fight, you know?
Yeah. It was after they got big.
After they got big. Right. But now it's this thing of like, look, I know we ask a lot of you, the listener, the fan, the patron, and it's our thing to give as much back and make it worth it. And it's daunting on an old brain where we go kind of like, oh, you guys are doing this now. Like, this is where you know, so like I look at this special and it's like hibachi. That's the analogy I've been making. Like you take this hour, the steak that's perfectly cooked but you got to slice it and dice it and trim it and season it and garnish it and give it to where everybody wants to eat. Okay. It's not come to my table. It's let me give you a little bit here. Let me give you a little bit here. Taste this. I hope you like it. If you like it, there's more over here. Subscribe, share, rate, review, boop, boop, bop, boop, beep. And that's the name of the game nowadays, man. So like legitimately folks, like we love you and we appreciate it. And please keep it up.
Do.
Yeah. Join us over at patreon.com/comes a time pod. The YouTube channel. We're going to be leaning heavy on that very, very soon with some really cool shit. So
we got some guests coming up. And don't forget to get that Comes a Time merch. Jess was telling me every time I wear that shirt on stage, somebody asks where, because she does my Facebook. She says people ask where they can get it. And that's
Yeah.
a good looking shirt, y'all.
That's it.
You'll see
And
it
you
on.
can find it.
I wore it in Rolling Stone when they took a picture of us at See Here Now. So
Yeah, it looks good on you, man. It looks good on you. It's a nice soft shirt, and
Mhm.
yeah, they can find the merch at our socials and at the links in all of our stuff. And comesatimepodcast.com or we'll post all that in the notes. But yeah, get your merch. It makes a great Christmas present, friends. So
And Hanukkah
and Hanukkah.
any other
And just buy
festival.
yourself one.
Yeah.
You don't need an excuse.
Harvest Fest.
Fuck yeah.
Festivus.
Pumpkin picking. It's for the rest of us.
Pumpkin Fest.
Love you, bud.
Love you too.
Peace, everyone.